Hey guys, it's Sunday evening, almost 5:30, and it is also March 17th, 2024. Today's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all my friends. Um, we're gonna do a live reading, as has been the practice the past couple weeks. I believe I mentioned before that I switched. I was doing shorts of some of my writing, and I didn't like the way it flowed. It was weird because the whole thing would encompass anywhere from 3 to 4 shorts, and some parts of it would get quite a few views and others very little. But it seemed there was a disconnect um, without the whole thing being in place. So it made much more sense to me to just try to do a live reading. I enjoy the live reading rather than me just reading and then putting it out there, as that just seems rehearsed. And of course, it isn't, and it is, meaning that I just go through it. But if I don't like it, I can do it again and again and again. This way, hey, it's out there, mistakes and all, stumbling through the words, making, mispronouncing things, mispronouncing my own words. Um, but I also, in the end, if anyone is present, I get to maybe not so much explain it, but emphasize certain parts. So this was written January 29th of 2024. So it's a more present. I've been diving into the archives and bringing some things up, but this one was not too long ago. And it is titled Sense of Potentiality, which I'm sure reading it out loud, I'm going to mangle that word probably. That's okay though. I'm among friends, I'm sure. So, what I've been doing, I'm waiting to start reading because it seems that I will have a friend or two pop up once I start reading, and I like people catching it fresh. Although I've been reading things twice, so I've been reading it all the way through, mistakes and all, and then I try to slow it down, and I'll break away when possible to either explain or fill in some gaps or offer an insight of what I wrote, why I wrote it. Um, so let's see. If you guys are ready, I'll start now. Sense of potentiality. I think what I most love about my mornings is the sense of potentiality they hold. That anything can happen. There's magic available, or at the very least, a sense of mystery as to how it will all unfold by the ending of the day. This is cultivated early with my meditation on first rising, a deep silence that immerses me in its promise, showing how everything starts from here, and that it remains with me throughout the day if I only turn inward and listen once again. It's a beautiful promise, and one I do return to as I approach my morning's writing. Every word will first emerge from silence. My only role is listening, and then simply writing what is heard. This same sense of potentiality is found on the page, an initial emptiness that's just waiting for the fulfillment of my words. Anything is possible. Silence could whisper the most subtle inspiration in my ear and urge me to express it on the page. Or perhaps nothing at all for a given length of time. And I've come to love this period as well, having a feeling of restful awareness as I simply sit in the quiet mystery of the moment. Words will find me here, as they always do, so I'm content, watchful, eager to hear whatever inspiration will whisper to the page. And nature too holds this promise, as after writing I head immediately out the door to see what mystery the woods and fields might hold. It's always something. A feeling of infinite possibility fills the morning air, and I don't even wait for first light to explore these secrets. It's all available to me right now, everything, yet only in its initial promise, primordial, existing in that sense of potentiality until I show up as a witness. That's the magic that I love, this mystery, how anything might happen. All right. Hey, I only stumbled over potentiality once at the end after I already said it, what, 3 times? That's the way it works sometimes, guys. Um, so, as I've been doing, um, is that Bubba Helms 11? Did I say that right? Love the story. Hey, I really appreciate that. Thank you. I'm always amazed the infinite things on YouTube that anyone can turn to, anyone can find, um, and someone shows up and listens and gives a kind word. To me, that's the most amazing thing in the world, that someone would do that. And I always try, I walk away inspired, and I always try to return the favor somewhere for someone. If it's only just showing up on someone's channel and offering an encouraging word. One of my all-time favorite things um, is stumbling across a musician. He's in his garage or his basement. There was one guy performing in his bathtub, live from the bathtub is what he called it. Um, Other people in their kitchen, and just somebody with an acoustic guitar or a piano or a ukulele, and they're putting out these fantastic cover of songs, or sometimes original. Um, they're not hoping to be discovered. They're just filling the world with a little bit of beauty from their heart. And I love finding these people and supporting them and sharing them out as often as I can. So, um, Bubba Helm says, yes, and you're welcome. Well, I'm glad I didn't mess up your name. Um, so, as been the habit, I've been reading it twice, but again, I break it up and offer some insights as I go. I'm not always sure that's necessary. I normally reserve it when I really mess up the first reading, but I didn't mess this one up too bad. Um, but let's try it slower, and again, we'll pause and maybe talk a bit. I think what I most love about my mornings is a sense of potentiality they hold, that anything can happen. There's magic available, or at the very least, a sense of mystery as to how it will all unfold by the ending of the day. This is cultivated early with my meditation on first rising, a deep silence that immerses me in its promise, showing how everything starts from here, and that it remains with me throughout the day, if I only turn inward and listen once again. It's a beautiful promise, and one I do return to as I approach my morning's writing. Every word will first emerge from silence. My only role is listening, and then I simply write what is heard. So, as mentioned, my day starts, well, officially, my day starts 9 out of 10 times with a simple, easy prayer of gratitude that I'm awake, that I just took a breath, I'm alive, I have an entire day ahead of me. I had an entire night's sleep behind me, no matter how that sleep might have turned out. It was enough. It was enough to get me here to this day, to this morning, and a simple thank you. It doesn't have to be a big ritual of prayer. You can lay on your back, take a breath in, breathe out, and just say thank you on that out breath. Honestly, the breath alone is a thank you. And when you cultivate that sense of awareness with the breath, every single breath you take is a thank you. In the Hawaiian shamanistic practice, um, their word for prana is ha, which seems so fitting, that sigh, ha, the energy of being alive. Bladadaha, first thing in the morning, and that's your prayer of thanks. As the German Christian mystic Meister Eckhart said, that if the only prayer you ever say is thank you, that would be enough. So, before I move on, meditation. So, I mentioned the last couple days I've read about what I wrote about yoga. My first posture of the day is Sukhasana, which is easy pose, sitting cross-legged, not in a fancy lotus position or half lotus position or the auspicious pose, a simple, easy, comfortable cross-legged position, the kind we used to sit in when we were kids, when our parents or the teacher would read us a story, when we were free, unencumbered by the restrictions of the body or the breath. Cultivate that place of sitting. Meditate. It's how I start my day. It's how I started my day for 30 some years. And it leads into what I'm going to talk about next, which is writing, and how there was a time in my life when I wanted to be a writer and I was not inspired. I could write for a day, 2 days, maybe a week, and then it would seem to dry up and I'd have nothing to write about for months at a time. And I'd be miserable. And of course, I would drink, because that's what you're supposed to do when you're an artist. When you're a starving, unsuccessful artist, you punish yourself, um, which doesn't help. It just feeds into the cycle. As my practice meditation deepened, I realized that I'm not supposed to search or wait for inspiration. Inspiration is always present. Inspiration, in spirit, in breath. Inspiration is the actual word of spirit and breath, meaning the same thing. If I want to be inspired, I can look out the window. There's an entire universe waiting to be written about. I can pick up a book and just open it, any word, something will come from that word. I can talk to my cats. They always have something to say. I'm never not inspired. And I would say the same for anyone at all. Tata Nagla, I'm probably pronouncing it. He looks like it's Stephen Hawking's. So you're saying I look like I'm really, really, really smart, like a genius. That might be the greatest compliment I've gotten on YouTube yet. Here's what amazes me. Almost every time I go live, someone tells me who I look like. And none of the people that they say I look at all like the last person that someone else told me that they look like. So it leads me to the conclusion that I look like absolutely everyone. Well, Stephen Hawkins don't look very smart. Not anymore. He passed away. Sima Gaming says hi. Hey, how are you? Let's see. Rosecap HD. You look like Eric McCarty. I've heard good things about that guy. Some people say that Eric McCarty looks a lot like Stephen Hawking's. Let's see. He didn't. I don't know what that last part is, and I don't know what that means either. So you would think when I read this stuff that I'm absolutely new to the internet, but of course I'm not. I just don't follow what certain things mean. I heard he'd be flipping them packs. I don't know what that means either. Smella says, fine, and you? Good. I'm glad to hear that you're doing okay. So, I'm going to go back to reading. But, you guys keep commenting. Honestly, I don't mind any comment at all. So, I do appreciate it. This same sense of potentiality is found on the page, an initial emptiness that's just waiting for the fulfillment of my words. Anything is possible. Silence could whisper the most subtle inspiration in my ear and urge me to express it on the page. Or perhaps nothing at all for a given length of time. And I've come to love this period as well, having a feeling of restful awareness as I simply sit in the quiet mystery of the moment. Words will find me here, as they always do. So I'm content, watchful, eager to hear whatever inspiration will whisper to the page. That's the second part. We'll take a break from there. Um, Guys, if you write, if you paint, if you sculpt, don't be afraid of those moments when nothing seems to be happening, because that is that sense of potentiality that I'm talking about here. That's when everything is happening. Absolutely everything is happening in that silence. Do you know the universe? Of course, you know. The universe started from that singularity of dense energy, smaller than the smallest particle right now. And there was nothing else, absolutely nothing else. Or maybe there was, because somewhere, somehow, that dense point of energy got the urge to expand. Something whispered to that singularity, now, expand, be. We could say it was the voice of God. We could say, I don't know, the absolute is my favorite word to use, or Brahma. I love the term Brahma because it doesn't have the same connotations as when we say God, but it means the same thing. Brahma whispered to that singularity, the absolute, the only other thing that was in existence, and it whispered, grow. And the universe created time and space as it needed for us to be. So those periods of silence, that's our condensed point of energy. That's our singularity of existence. And something will come along and whisper in our ear. Write, sculpt, paint, do origami. Whatever is your, go bowling, whatever your means of creative expression is, don't be afraid when it doesn't seem to be flowing in your direction. Because it's in those very moments when something is stirring. Something's going to happen. Something big's going to happen. You are going to expand. There's going to be another big bang. And you are going to write the universe into existence. That, I promise. Sima Gaming says, where are you from? I'm from, well, technically, I'm from McKeesport, Pennsylvania. But I grew up and live in Columbia, Maryland. Columbia, Maryland being just one of the most beautiful places that I am fortunate to have grown up here. Absolutely love it. So, we're coming to the last part, guys. I promise. And nature too holds this promise. As after writing, I head immediately out the door to see what mystery the woods and fields might hold. It's always something. A feeling of infinite possibility fills the morning air. And I don't even wait for first light. To explore these secrets, it's all available to me right now. Everything, yet only in its initial promise. Primordial. Existing in that sense of potentiality until I show as witness. That's the magic that I love, this mystery, how anything might happen. And that's it. So, that last part, until I show as witness. Funny how I was just told that I looked like Stephen Hawking's, and then I talked about the beginning of the universe. And Now I'm going to talk about being the witness, which is similar in physics to the observer effect. The observer is actually a participant in the observation. In non-duality, um, there's no difference. The observer is the observed. The seer is the seer and the scenery at the same time. One of the first things that you start sliding into as you begin to meditate is that sense of being the witness. You realize you're not your thoughts, you're the witness to the thoughts. You realize you're not your body, you're the witness to your body. All of these things are appearances within that great witnessing sense of beingness. And then further down the line of meditation, non duality, the witness itself disappears, and there just is. As Richard Bach, who wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull and Illusions, called it the great isness. And I absolutely love that. And I've been stealing it from Richard Bach for 30 plus years now, but giving him full credit most of the time. So, in a sense, in a quantum world, hey, I love gymnastics. I do remember you. I'm here for my second live, and this time I'm reading from my stuff, from my blog. Nothing happens until it's witnessed. Schrodinger's box and his poor, long-suffering cat, both alive and dead, until we open the box. Everything that's ever going to be written already exists in its potentiality. All it takes is for us to show up, pen in hand, keyboard in front of us. Every single great gymnastic move that I Love Gymnastics is going to make is already grooved into existence. All she has to do is show up. Imagine that. Imagine that energetic connection of everything that's ever going to happen is already in existence. You just need to zero in on the one you want. Align with it. Energetically align with that version, that infinite potentiality that is already there, already doing that perfect move. And you just walk into it. The present you walks into the future you that is already alive, already existing, already doing that thing that you will eventually do. And of course, that's the mystery of it all. In quantum physics, they call it branching. How everything, every turn, every twist, every move, every thought branches out. Infinite worlds, multiple worlds, every possible world. Pretty amazing. So, that's going to be it, guys, for tonight. I try to keep these short, the second one. So if anyone wants to watch it, they don't have to watch an hour's worth of me stumbling around on a live session. They can get right to the point. This was a fun session. I had never known that I'd look like Stephen Hawkins. I never knew that I'd look like Eric McCarty. So, Bubba Helms, I'm sorry. I appreciate you coming. Tada, I appreciate you coming here too. Rokept, I know I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you for showing up as well. And Simha. And once again, I Love Gymnastics. Appreciate you all showing up and your patience for listening to me ramble on. See everyone tomorrow. Take care, guys.